What's going on, Internet? My name is Joe from Joe Heilhammer, and today I kind of wanted to take an opportunity to share with you all of the different models in my Army. On my channel, I want to do more than just battle reports. I'd like to start something called Model Mondays. I don't know that I'll be able to put a video out for that every week, because real life. But I think every other week is a reasonable kind of expectation to have for a Model Monday segment. So I just kind of wanted to take some time today to share with you guys all of the different units in my Army. I know a lot of the pictures from my battle reports don't display them very well, and this will hopefully give you kind of a dynamic view of what they look like in regards to modeling and conversion work that I've done. Granted, there is still a lot that needs to be done on my Army, but that's why we do Model Mondays, so that you guys, the viewer, can keep me, the slacker, accountable. So let's get to it. I'll show you guys my Army. So up here, I just kind of am displaying you guys my Army on a bookshelf. I cleared out some shelves because my work table is just a disaster. So in my list, I have 2 units of Nasher Dashers. So as I've mentioned in my battle reports, I have the Reese's Pieces, and they are named because they are so aptly colored like Reese's Pieces. And then we have the Skittles over here because, you guessed it, they are colored like Skittles. Sorry, the lighting is a little off, but I'm going to try to get you a decent view of them on their display movement tray. I made the Skittle unit first, and I was very satisfied with how they turned out. It was the first time I'd really done some pretty heavy highlighting. But I'm really happy with them. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I think they're a good looking unit. And then, as I am apt to do, when I modeled up the Reese's Pieces movement tray, I went bigger with the tree. But what are you gonna do? So I'm actually very happy with the way these guys turned out as well. Very pleased with both of these units. So in between them, in the middle here, we have the Nasher Herd, which I have been working on. I had hoped to finish them up last week, but again, real life kind of gives you other plans sometimes. So what you don't see here that is missing is that in this tree here and this tree here will be an additional 2 additional flying Nashers from up here from the Titan Forge model line. In this tree, I'm going to have one hanging upside down to kind of give it that bat effect, and then this one's kind of going to be jumping out of the tree towards their opponent. So when I was modeling this unit, my whole idea here was to just go for layers, so that if you looked at eye level, you would constantly see Nashers jumping over each other's shoulders somehow or other, which is what I tried to go and do with the that black Nasher in the back there and the purple one as well. These models come from all sorts of different model lines. As you can see, the Skarsnik one there, the Nasher Wrecking Crew, or the Mangler Squig there. I have the old Mohawk Nasher in the second rank on the far right. I have some of the gnarly squigs, and then just the normal squigs. And then additionally, we have some of these little guys here that don't really have a dynamic pose. These guys are a great, cheap alternative from Troll Forged, if I remember correctly, from Troll Forge. And I have about 4 of those in this unit, I believe. And then some of these other ones, like this guy here and this little Murloc, the King Murloc, and we also have extra Murloc back there, and then the black one back there, which actually doesn't have a back. It's just two sets of face with teeth in the middle. Those are, I don't know where they are from now. I'm going to research that and put that on the screen for you. When I bought them, they were from Puppets Wars, and they were called the Killer Tomatoes, but now they're called something else. And then that big Gnasher in the back there is just a squig that a guy makes on eBay and sells periodically. So if you're interested in buying one of him, just periodically eBay Mangler squig, and he'll come up occasionally. But those are all the Gnashers. Below that, we have my Doom Divers over here. These are actually older models that I've had for a couple years painted. And I just wanted a new take on Doom Divers outside of being shot from a catapult or slingshot or something. So I found this Privateer Press model, and I loved him. I thought he was a perfect model to throw him. And then as you can see here, this guy got a little broke in the last tournament. And additionally, also, this other one lost a tree, but what are you going to do? Those are my Git launchers. And over here I have my Gnasher wrecking teams. I modeled these guys up when I was doing an all spider themed army. My thought was goblins don't know the difference between a scorpion and a spider. So this one I have trying to like wedge his way in between trees, in between the forest, to force his way out. And I think this model is a lot of fun. I really love using these guys instead of the Mangler squigs. And then this one I modeled up to, I actually chopped up his legs pretty heavily to make it look like he was unburrowing from the ground. And these are both Metal Reaper scorpions. I clearly need to do a little bit of a touch-up on their paint job, but again, I love these models. This is my BSB. I forgot what I named him. His name may not stick. It's Captain something or other. But I did not paint this. This was a gift from a friend that came to me painted. So he doesn't really fit my paint scheme at the moment, but it's better than anything I've got for BSB, so I'm going to use him till I'm able to replace him. Over here, this giant is the Ultra Forge giant. This is James the Ent Ripper, and I have some gnarly plans for him. I have ordered, and I'm waiting for it to come in the local shop. I have ordered the Games Workshop Lord of the Rings Ent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up this tree club a little bit. Even though it's a beautiful club, I'm going to chop that up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is have James the Ent Ripper dragging along upside down a Lord of the Rings Ent. So every time he ends up getting the result swing with club, he's actually swinging either a live or dead tree ent that he ripped out of the ground. Hopefully maybe I can get like there will be a second head or something I can use to put at the bottom of his base to kind of more fully display that idea of him being like an Ent Slayer, or maybe put a head in his other hand here that he's dragging along as well. But I am very excited for that conversion. I think it's going to end up being a paint job that is more than I can handle. So we'll see what happens there. This giant is Jesse. I was originally going to call him the Dragon Slayer. I have some bits coming that might be able to help convert him up. I mean, obviously he's just a classic GW giant. What I am thinking of changing him to is something of a collector of people and peasants. I'm gonna put the left hand as the hand piece where he's holding a guy. I'm gonna have the guy that, you know, that iconic fleeing peasant here, and then I'm gonna have on the back the plastic sack that he comes with that has people stuff in it, and the metal one from the old giant, the 50 mil giant. I guess not super old, but the giant before this release. And then additionally, I'm going to have that caged necklace, and I'm going to put that tied up dwarf in that necklace as well. And then lastly, to top it off, to make it really seem like he's a collector of people, I'm going to get that bit from the Stonehorn, where the guy is tied up and hung on the trophy rack. I'm going to find a way to hang him either on a necklace or on the belt somewhere that is fitting. So in total, he will have 1, 2 from the necklace, 3 from the stone horn, 4, 5 from the bags that he throws him in, 6 from the guy fleeing. 6. He'll have 6 models on there of villagers or peasants that he has collected from his exploits. So I'm thinking about changing up his theme to being more of just a people collector. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what he will end up looking like. So moving on, these guys, my freaking 40-man block of feral orcs. These guys have been a labor of love because I am not a person that can really quickly paint. I have to put detail on every single model, and that is why half of these guys are not painted, because I just got wore out with them, man. But I call this unit the White Fists. Every single model has white tattooed onto their knuckles and their fingers. So they are the White Fists. We have a couple dudes over here with these tiki masks, and these are just feral orc shields. If you shave off the hands of them, they make great masks. And we have our ogre unit filler here, of course, the musician, and then the mammoth stabber up here. He is leaping out of a tree. That's a better angle to show you kind of how dynamic he is. I really like that use. Instead of having 2 guys, just put that on a cav base and then have him jumping out of a tree. This whole unit is really like bones bits oriented with their helmets and their kind of facial gear here. So I decided to just kind of, this is the standard bearer. I suppose he's more of a totem bearer, kind of from the beast herds, but I didn't want to put out a full-blown flag, so I just kind of modified that a little bit and put some empty fists there to where it looks like he's holding the great skull. This is the unit champ. I think he was supposed to be a character, but what are you going to do? And then let's remove you real quick and see what's behind you. And then, yeah, just some more guys back there. Then we have a troll back here as well, another unit filler. As you can see, I am chock full of unit fillers. Oh, and this is the bit that we're going to throw on Jesse the Giant, this guy here. But for now, he has been hung up. We're not going to steal this. We're going to get an additional bit. But for now, that one has been hung up by these brutes. But yeah, this is my Feral Orc Ed Bashers unit. And to get this effect of them jumping out of the trees, all you do is you take the Cav models, the Feral Orc Boar Boys, and you don't put them on the boar, and it looks exactly as if they're jumping. So I have 3 jumping out of the trees, as you can see up there. Then I have 1 jumping over a bush on the left side, and then I have 1 jumping over a bush on the right side that needs a little bit of extra glue work because he's falling into his buddy up front. But that is that unit. After I finish up the Nasher herd, which is the next focal point, I will be finishing up painting this unit. So this little model here, this is my Goblin Chief with the Wizard's Hood, Little Toadhead. And as you can see, he's called Little Toadhead because, if my phone will focus, he has a little toad on his head. So the story with this guy is that he is just a... So, alright, hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself. So the rule for the Wizard's Hood is that you randomize any of the 8 battle magic lores, or paths, and you additionally gain the stupidity rule. So the fluff behind this guy is he's always had the stupidity rule, but for some reason this magical frog decided to attach himself to this little guy, this nameless dumb goblin, and every time a battle shows up, he finds his way into the ranks of the army and seems to do some good. So they tolerate him and put up with him and keep him around. And because he's just some nameless dummy, they call him Little Toadhead. He is shaping up to be one of my favorite characters. I love what's going to happen between him. So in some other lists that I want to do in the future, I have another model from Spellcrow. He's the goblin with the frog. I'm going to call him Yuka Toadslayer. I'll put a picture of that model on the screen, and they are going to be sworn enemies. He's going to actually be a great shaman, a goblin great shaman taking shadow, and he hates little Toadhead. So in order for his spells to work, he sacrifices toads. So that'll make for some fun stories once I start using them. Behind him, this is just a generic orc shaman model. This is my placeholder for now for my orc general, the level 4 beast, Master Gromfist. I have huge plans for my general model that I'm going to save for a later reveal. But all I can tell you is to get your hopes up, man. I am so excited to reveal this model once I'm done, but I'm not going to reveal anything about him until he's completely finished, because oof, it is going to be, I am excited. Very excited. You guys should be too. And then lastly over here, in the battle reports, I was just using those 6th edition kind of single mold archer units, but this is my unit of archers. I have yet to figure out what to call them. But on Saturday or whatever, over the weekend, I took some time to model them up, and I threw some crossbows in there. They are none of which are the Ruglid armored orcs. Guys, instead I just found some bits from the ogre crossbows, and I threw them onto some iron orc arms. So I had a lot of fun modeling these guys up. Kind of a dynamic unit for archers. It's clear that they're archers, but at the same time, they're still very kind of orky and uncontrolled, unruly, I suppose you might say. Hey! So we're going to stick like a tree in here because, as you can see, that's what I do with my units. We're going to put a tree in there, and then these two guys up front go to the back rank when it's game time, because Master Gromfist goes on this side, and I had to model up the unit to fit what he will be, and then Captain whatever his face, the BSB, goes on this side. So they'll go to the back there, but that's the unit. Very pleased with that unit. Very excited to get them painted up as well. And what we're missing is that's everything in the army except for the Gargantula and the Forest Goblins, both of which I am currently working on, both of which should be looking good. So the whole idea to my army is this concept that they're charging out of a wood. On my display board, this is all very just kind of blueprint stage right now. I really want to try in a small corner to create this effect like there's this little village that's not expecting this ambush from this orc horde that is charging out of the wood. So that's my goal. That's kind of my intent. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update of what my army looks like, what I intend to do with the army, and where I hope to go with all of the modeling projects. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be doing some more Model Monday videos in the future. Yeah, hit like and subscribe, all that YouTube crap. And I will see you guys next time.